So listen, man, my executive producer has been on me, and he been telling me like, "Yo, you need to do a top five at the end of the year like everybody else." And I'm like, "Dog, I really don't feel like doing a top five video, bruh. Top five movies of the year." And he was like, "Man, just do it." So I did it, and here we are. We're looking at my top five movies of the year for 2020, a year where not many movies came out, where we anticipated so much last January, but now here we are in December 2020, and we didn't get a lot of things that we wanted. So, recapping those top five, I will be leaving links for all my reviews for these films in the little bubble that pops up, and also in the description. So, you can find me talking more about all these films, whether it's spoilers or non-spoilers. But let's go ahead and get into that top five. So at number five, we're gonna go with Soul. Just recently did Soul. Just recently watched Soul. Incredibly good movie. Very deep. Very thought-provoking. Entertaining from start to finish. Is not for kids. Is definitely not for kids. But it is a damn good movie to watch. If you got Disney Plus, go ahead, check out Soul. Number four on my list is actually something from last January or February, and that would be Invisible Man. About halfway through the year, I felt like Invisible Man was still a contender for like best movie of the year. It was very well acted, very well directed. It was super suspenseful. Like, I know people who had like real jump scare moments throughout that film because they never really watch the advertisements. You watch it raw, and there's things that's gonna pop out, not just on the jump scare, but just like this is very well shot. Like, you watching the screen intensely the whole time. I remember when I first saw it in theaters, like I was tense on the edge of my seat from start to finish. I had to convince my wife to watch it. It was a very good movie. Go back, check out my review of Invisible Man. I think it's one of the year's best by far. Now, when we get to number three, I have to say that I have these listed as like 1, 2, and 3, or 3, 2, and 1. I really don't know where I would place these in an actual order. I'm fine with Soul at 5. I'm fine with Invisible Man at 4. But when we get to 3, 2, and 1, I feel like they're all interchangeable. So I'll give them to you as I wrote them down because it's kind of like as I encountered them. Except for number 1. I think we'll clarify more when we get to 1. So let's go with 3. 3 would be The Five Bloods. For me, The Five Bloods was a little bit of everything, man. You had action, you had comedy, you had drama, you had a little bit of politics sprinkled in there. You had a lot of stuff, and it was very well directed, very well shot. All the acting was great. It was one of the last performances from Chadwick Boseman. He was very good in it. You had Delroy Lindo that like I was calling for him to get awards in the summertime when that movie came out. It's something that you definitely need to watch if you haven't seen it. Last time I checked, it was on Netflix, and that was like maybe 10 minutes ago. So please jump on the Netflix, give The Five Bloods a viewing because it's worth it. It's worth your time. Now, it is a little long, probably the longest one on this list, but you can get past that. This one is a good one. Give it a watch. 2 for me would have to be The Platform. The Platform is a foreign film that was brought to Netflix. I don't know exactly, like, was it a film festival in 2019? All I know is it was made available to us in 2020. I watched it. I was highly impressed. I will never watch the whole thing again. It was a great, great movie. It was very disturbing. It caused you to look inward, caused you to think about things. I didn't too much care for the ending because it was left to be ambiguous, and I'm not a big fan of those, but I did really enjoy it. I do remember very vividly everything that went on as I watched it. You know, it's one of those that you remember what you were doing the first time you see it. So that makes it worthy of being on this list to me. Giving it the 2, could be the 3. I'm putting it at 2. Let's go with number 1. For me, number 1 is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and that's the final performance from Chadwick Boseman. Viola Davis, available on Netflix. Again, if you have an eye for it, you can see it. It's a small production. They did this on somebody's back lot in a studio, and they just let Chadwick Boseman and Viola Davis just go off, and it was great. You have 30 minutes of lighthearted laughter. then you have another 30 to 40 minutes of like serious dramatic acting, and then you get the conclusion to the story, which I won't ruin here, but it was a very sharp turn. You get something again that makes you think a lot about your decision making, think a lot about how trauma affects you, and it was good, man. It was very, very good. You get some stellar cast performances as well, because it's not just a Chadwick Boseman show or a Viola Davis show, but you have a very well-rounded group of individuals that bring it, like Glenn Turman did, like Coleman Domingo did. Like, these people did great in this movie, and they are very, very noteworthy in my opinion because of the overall like package that we got with Ma Rainey. Man, it's for me, it's tough to say Ma Rainey or the Five Bloods because of the acting jobs that you got. You got Jonathan Majors in the Five Bloods. You got Chadwick Boseman and Delroy Lindo. All did excellent in the Five Bloods. But then at the same time, you have a film with the concept and the direction and the shots that you get and the thoughts that get provoked from the platform. So that's to me what makes it kind of difficult to put like 1, 2, or 3, or 3, 2, or 1. It makes it very hard. But I would say those 5 are my top 5 for 2020. I realized when making this list I watched a lot of trash. I will also say that I realized that I watched a lot of old movies this year, and hopefully with a normal or more normal schedule in 2021 we can get more fresh new movies reviewed and chatted about in that spoiler format that I like to use. So if you like my little movie reviews, my little spoiler chats, if you enjoyed this list, if you have a different top 5, all those things are acceptable. Post them in the comments below. Please come back and see your boy on another video talking about these movies.